An old man, Mr. Smith, was living the last of his life in a nursing home. One day he appeared to be very sad and depressed. Nurse Lisa asked if there was anything wrong. "Yes, Nurse Lisa," said Mr. Smith. "My private parts died today and I am very sad." Knowing her patients were forgetful and sometimes a little crazy, she replied, "Oh, I'm so sorry, Mr. Smith. Please accept my condolences." The following day, Mr. Smith was walking down the hall with his private parts hanging out of his pajamas when he met Nurse Lisa. "Mr. Smith," she said, "you shouldn't be walking down the hall like that. Please put your private parts back into your pajamas." "But, Nurse Lisa," replied Mr. Smith, "I told you yesterday that my private parts died." "Yes, you did tell me that, but why are they hanging out of your pajamas?" asked Nurse Lisa. "Well," he replied, "today's the viewing." Two parents take their son on a vacation and go to a new beach. The father goes for a walk on the beach and the son goes and plays in the water. The son comes running up to his mom and says, "Mommy, I saw ladies with babies a lot bigger than yours." The mom says, "The bigger they are, the dumber they are." So he goes back to play. Minutes later, he runs back and says, "Mommy, I saw men with penises a lot bigger than daddy's." The mom says, "The bigger they are, the dumber they are." So he goes back to play. Several minutes later, he comes running back and says, "Mommy, I just saw Daddy talking to the dumbest lady I've ever seen." And the more he talked, the dumber he got. A man and a woman are having dinner in a restaurant. The waitress, taking another order a few tables away, spots that the man is slowly sliding down his chair and under the table, with the woman acting unconcerned. As the waitress watches, the man slides all the way under and out of sight. Still, the woman dining opposite him appears not to notice. Finally, the waitress comes over to the table and whispers discreetly to the woman, "Pardon me, ma'am, but I think your husband just slid under the table." "No, he didn't," the woman calmly replies. "He just walked in the door." Takes her 19-year-old daughter to doctor. The doctor says, "Okay, Mrs. Jones, what's the problem?" The mother says, "It's my daughter, Darla. She keeps getting these cravings. She's putting on weight and she's sick most mornings." The doctor gives Darla a good examination, then turns to the mother and says, "Well, I don't know how to tell you this, but your Darla is about 4 months pregnant." The mother says, "Pregnant? She can't be. She has never ever been left alone with a man. Have you, Darla?" Darla says, "No, mother. I've never even kissed a man." The doctor walked over to the window and just stares out of it. About 5 minutes passes and finally the mother says, "Is there something wrong out there, doctor?" The doctor replies, "No, not really. It's just that the last time anything like this happened, a star appeared in the east and 3 wise men came over the hill. I'll be damned if I'm going to miss it this time." Visitor to a small country town noticed an old man playing chess. On closer inspection, he saw that a dog was sitting opposite the old man and the dog was moving the chess pieces. The visitor asked the old man if the dog was playing chess and he replied, "Yes." "That must be one extremely intelligent dog," said the visitor. "Not really," said the old man. "I win more games than he does." John and Tracy were in a very posh restaurant. John asked for the menu. He brought the menu to them but stated, "I'm not a waiter. My name is Hans and I wash the dishes for Jo's face." The Russian chef. A few minutes later, Hans came back and said, "I can't find Jo's face or the waiter, but I will take your order." They had decided to have squid. Hans went to get the tank. John chose the squid and Hans removed it from the tank and rushed it to the kitchen. Hans returned. I cannot kill that squid, as it has lots of little hairs around its mouth. I can't kill that. John insisted that he was going to have the squid. Okay, said Hans. I will find Yo's face and get him to do it. He will kill anything. 5 minutes later, Yo's face came over to the table and says, I can't kill that squid. It has lots of hairs around its mouth. John asked, what does this mean? The waiter appeared and said, this means Hans that do dishes can't be soft at Yo's face. With mild green hairy-lipped squid. For a vacation to Jamaica. His wife was on a business trip and was planning to meet him there the next day. When he reached his hotel, he decided to send his wife a quick email. Unable to find the scrap of paper on which he had written her email address, he did his best to type it in from memory. Unfortunately, he missed one letter and his note was directed instead to an elderly preacher's wife whose husband has passed away only the day before. When the grieving widow checked her email, she took one look at the monitor, let out a piercing scream and fell to the floor dead. At the sound, her family rushed into the room and saw this note on screen. Dearest wife, just got checked in. Everything prepared for your arrival tomorrow. Your loving husband. P.S. Sure is hot down here. I was going to bed one night when there was a knock at the door. He answered and there stood a giant ant that punched him in his eye. Now he made up an excuse when his friends asked him because he thought he couldn't say he had been punched by an ant. So he said he had had a punch up in the pub. Anyway, the next night the same happened again, but this time he got beaten up really bad. So he went to the hospital and told the doctor everything that had happened, and the doctor said, ah, yes, there is a nasty bug going round. Two ladies was walking in the woods when they saw a raccoon on top of a tree stump. The first lady asked, what do you think? Do you think it's rabbit? The second lady answered, no, raccoon.